My name's Antony Sammeroff. I'm a relationship coach and a communication trainer. In today's video, I want to talk about what are the predicates to developing open, honest, and authentic intimate relationships. What is it that you have to bring? What does it take? Anyone you meet who has been in a relationship for a long time, over a great many years, and is happy in that relationship is awesome. It never happens by accident. We know that anyone who succeeds at that has learned something very important and penetrating about life and relationships, as evidenced by the failure rate. I mean, if you think about how many people have tried and failed, ending up in divorce or an unhappy marriage, a sexless marriage, one where they're always fighting and arguing, one when they stay together for the kids, or any of those kinds of relationships that are sadly prevalent in our society, we have a real indication that we really need something more to build the kind of relationship that can last over time. We all love the romantic aspect of the relationship, and we all want that call me maybe moment where we meet someone and we have flashes of fireworks go through us, but that in itself is not enough to create a relationship that is going to be high quality in the long term. What I'm going to teach you though doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, it also will help you build really high quality friendships and relationships with any children you have in your life. Now, the first predicate to developing an open, honest, and authentic intimate relationship with a partner or with a friend or an associate is the willingness to express your true feelings and thoughts, particularly if something is amiss and you want to improve the way you relate in the relationship. Now, you have to be willing to do that, even if it's uncomfortable for you in the short term. Your partner is probably not a mind reader, and they need to know what's going on for you, especially if it's an impediment to you fully enjoying the relationship. If there's issues to be addressed, then they need to be talked about so that things can be looked at and improved. Now, I'm not saying as soon as something comes up you have to jump in there and say it. You can take some time to process it, and when you're ready, find an appropriate moment to approach your partner in the relationship and air out your feelings and thoughts on what is going on in the relationship. The second predicate is a willingness to listen to the truth of the other person's experience, even if it's painful to hear in the short term. That means putting your short-term discomfort aside to really take the time to understand what the other person is experiencing and form a basis for improving the way you hear the other person. Now, when I say that you have to have a willingness to express what's going on for you and hear what's going on for the other person, I don't mean all your judgments of each other and the names you call each other or anything like that. I just mean what you're feeling and what you're thinking. To avoid getting things confused, it's often useful to predicate any conclusions you come out with I've been thinking that. The third predicate is the ability to effectively empathize with the other person if they receive the truth of your experience as painful, and to effectively empathize with the other person even if you find the truth of their experience as hurtful. Before I talked about the willingness to express your true feelings and thoughts, and the willingness to listen to the other person's true feeling and thoughts. Now I want to talk about having the ability. If you've not developed it, it really takes practice. Willingness can lead to ability, but willingness without practice might not be enough if you find it hard to empathize. You should practice empathizing by paraphrasing what people say and add an emotion to it. Are you feeling frustrated because I've been leaving the dishes out more often than you'd like me to? So if I get you right, Steve at work has been trying to micromanage you and not let you get on with your work. and that makes you feel really uncomfortable? Are you a bit angry because I said that I'd take the kids off you this weekend and it ends up that I have to spend more hours at work? After you do this, you should give the other person an opportunity to expand on what they've said and speak about it fully. So far, I've talked about what qualities you need to bring to the relationship, but there's a fourth predicate to forming open, honest, and authentic, intimate relationships. And that final predicate is a commitment to choosing to be in relationships with people who meet these other three criteria themselves. A relationship is a two-player game. If one person is doing all the work, they'll get tired out and frustrated. The relationship won't improve very much if the other person doesn't acknowledge the hard work that you're putting in and participate in the effort. The person who's working hard might even become passive-aggressive and start sabotaging what remains of the goodwill in the relationship by undermining the other person and influence them to feel what they're feeling. You know, if I'm feeling frustrated that you aren't putting as much work into developing the relationship as I am, that's going to come out in other ways, especially if I don't broach the subject and try to talk it out. You can bring other people up to this standard by initiating it, since this is my work and my life effort to forge fulfilling relationships and teach other people how to do the same thing. I have brought these qualities to my relationships and talked to people about it, brought it up into the open to increase their willingness to engage in the process of having a really high quality relationship with me. And it really, really works if you choose good people as partners for a relationship with. Things you can say are, I really want you to be able to tell me if something bothers you. I really want to be able to tell you when something's bothering me so that we have each other's back, and that way you don't need to worry if you've done anything that offended me, and I don't need to worry that I've done anything that offended you, because we can both trust that we'll keep each other in the loop. Ask often, is there anything you'd like me to do less of? Is there anything you'd like me to do more of? Is there anything that I'm doing that you'd like me to stop? And is there anything I'm not doing that you'd like me to start? Also, bear in mind, people need to be comfortable enough to be challenged. That means you need to create an environment where everyone feels safe to share and receive this information, while it's clear to them that they're still loved, even if there's emotional issues that need addressing and resolved surrounding behaviour that might need to be discussed, adapted, or even changed. That means lots of good listening and empathizing, because that brings up the amount of trust in a relationship. And also through experience, having conflicts brought to the table, discussed, and winning a real victory for your relationship when you see how much better things become when you discuss things openly will build up the amount of trust and the security people have in the process. Thank you again. I'm Antony Sammeroff. If you think it's useful, please share it with anyone you think might benefit from it. Don't just click that share button and put it up on your wall on Facebook. That would be really appreciated. If you would like some help or coaching to improve the level of communication in your romantic relationship, or your relationship with your friends, or your relationship with your kids, your associates at work, I am available for consultations. Please just send me an email at enrichyourlife@outlook.com and check out my website at www.enrichyourlife.co. Thank you again. Have a great week.